Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. This podcast exists because we want you to win, and you're going to need leverage to win. They're going to need to want you as a songwriter more than you need them. They're going to need to want you more as an artist on that record label more than you need them. That's when you're going to make sure that the deck is stacked and you can get everything that you want and everybody's going to perform for you. That's why we called it the C.L.I.M.B, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. What is leverage? It's a strategic advantage. It's the power to act effectively, and all that was dreamed up by my brilliant lyricist and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter. Brent's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, Joe Nichols, and more. And what I love about Brent is he helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then when you get those two things in line, he'll put you in front of the pros so you can continue to take a couple at bats and get your shot with the pros. You can't ask for more than that. You can find Brent real easy at songwritingpro.com. Once again, that's songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They help you find your sound, and they help you grow your audience so you can become the artist that everybody loves, so you can get paid. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That's production, singular, no S, and there is no S because there is no other Johnny D.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Man, I got a little sleep last night, so I feel... Actually, no, I'm still not caught up, but I have coffee, so I'm good. Good enough.
Man, I'm still recovering from CMA week. Like, that was... We had a lot going on.
Good. Well,
and it was like nonstop. I mean, I'm coming home at 2 or 3 in the morning every night.
And this is different how? There are more people around.
I'm not afraid to go out late, but I don't. Like, I'm older these days. I keep it a little more control. Like that was like, man, we had a lot going on. But man, some killer shows. Saw some great new artists come up. Got turned on to a couple new acts I wasn't aware of that awesome. We might have the pleasure to work with, which awesome. Are like really neat. Like you would love them, dude. Like
we will talk off the air.
Yeah, this one act like they're just the real deal, and you're like, yeah, it was.
And all of them are listening right now, going, he's talking about us.
Yeah, that's right.
He's
talking about them.
Maybe we are.
So, what are we going to learn today?
All right. Well, as the climbers out there may know, I am a lyricist. All right, so I don't play. I choose not to play an instrument. I can dumbstrum on a guitar a little bit, but I really don't ever pick the guitar up. And I don't write melody. So I just have something I blogged about a while back. I thought we should talk about it here on the podcast. It's 7 things every lyricist should know. And if you're a melody writer, it helps you understand lyricists a little bit better. All
right. Okay. I like that. Hey, but before we do that, let's take care of a little business. Number one, yes. If you haven't joined the C.L.I.M.B community yet, please do so. Search the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. This is a killer community. Like, I love the activity in this that happens every day. People helping other people out. People posting questions. What do I do about this for marketing? What about this for songwriting?
Yeah, it's good. It's picking up. It's getting busier as it grows. It's good.
It really is. And there's a couple people in there. You know, we need to make sure everybody follows the rules. But all in all,
building that culture. Yeah.
All in all, we're building that culture. So if you want to be a part of that, guys, we let everybody in. You got to ask to be let in, but we'll let you in. And if you continually misbehave, we will roadhouse you. But you'll get a couple warnings.
Yeah, you get some education first. You know. And some people have been adding people to the group, and which is cool. We just ask that you kind of let them know what's up, so they don't think that we added them, and we're spammy terrorists.
That's right. And so far, like the last few times that's happened, like they all were aware. It seemed like they were all
which
aware
is awesome.
What's going on? So that's cool.
But we appreciate you wanting your buddies in the group.
That's sharing.
That's great.
Sharing and
caring. So it is, and we appreciate it. So
that's right. Yeah. So that's the C.L.I.M.B community, guys. Share this on your own social media if you like this. If it's beneficial to you, it's going to help out your fellow bandmate. It's going to help out your fellow musician, your fellow songwriter. people, everybody's in the struggle together, and our hope is that we're bringing value to this and giving you a different perspective. So spread the love that way. Subscribe. Make sure that those podcasts come right down into your podcast player automatically every Tuesday for the main episodes and every Friday for the mini-sodes. And take a 30 seconds, give us a 5-star review and a rating. Let us know, let everybody else know out there who's thinking about dipping their toe in the water here that it's legit and that you like what's going on. Speaking of 5-star reviews.
Speaking of,
we've got a new one.
Ooh. This
is from Terry. I'm going to read this with one eye because I left my cheaters at home. So,
okay.
Terry, if I misquote you just a little bit, have a little forgiveness, brother. I can't see. I'm blind. But this is Terry by Metal Shred 55. It's a 5-star review, and already I love this guy, Metal Shred 55.
He's one of your peeps, I can tell.
Yeah, he said, these guys are so full of great information that I listen every chance I get. I even listen to some episodes multiple times just to absorb it. Love the show. Horns up.
Horns up.
Boom.
Thank you much, Terry. Metal Shred. Obviously one of Johnny's peeps.
Yeah,
but I'm glad you're here.
I love that. So, we're going to learn
7 things every lyricist should know. So, basically, this is not an exhaustive list, but realizing the following points has really helped me in my songwriting career. It's helped me get my head right, keep it right, and it's helped me move forward and progress in my career. So if you're a lyricist, or even if you write melody but you feel like your strength is more lyric, then this is for you. And if you're a melody writer that works with some lyricists, this is for you, so you can play camp counselor to your lyricist friends who are like, I don't know.
And how about just the pursuit of excellence on lyrics?
Yes. Right? So this is more mindset stuff, but okay. This is going to be helpful, I think, for a lot of people. You can kind of apply a lot of these to whatever your thing is. But you ready to dive in? We got 7, so I don't want to dilly dally.
Number 1.
All right. Number 1, you are enough. Okay, so it's okay to be just a lyricist. I say that with little finger quotes. Just a lyricist. Writing great lyrics is a valuable skill, and the people that matter know that good lyrics matter. All right? So you can hold your head up high. If you think or act like you're not worthy, people will assume that you probably aren't worthy. So you don't want to be arrogant, but you do want to be confident. It is fine to say, you're not just a lyricist, you're a freaking specialist. And there's value in that. So first thing is, you just need to keep your chin up and stop worrying about you're not a real songwriter or you're not worthy to be a pro. Because it's funny is I've seen this every once in a while. I don't know if it's somebody just trolling just to cause a Facebook fight, but I've seen it in a couple of different Facebook groups, not one of ours, but where someone will basically blast like, hey, if you don't write melody, if you're just writing words, you're a poet, you're not a songwriter.
Really?
You're not a songwriter. And the feed blows up with like hundreds of comments. And so I don't know if they're just trolling or what, but I'm like, it was funny. The royalty checks seem to find me just fine.
That's right. I was going to say, you just take pictures of that Alan Jackson plaque and the Randy Travis plaque, and you're just like, hey.
Oddly enough, I don't know why they're paying me as a songwriter. That's what it says on my taxes.
I must be a secondary citizen low songwriter that gets checks. Like,
don't tell anybody. But publishing companies have hired me as a songwriter, knowing I don't write melody. So I have, anyway. Yeah.
Multiple pub deals.
Multiple pub deals. Yeah. So I'm not good enough to keep one for a long time, but I'm good enough to get several.
But you know what? Honestly, God, I have talked to a number of people that that sort of seems to be the sentiment out there. I think because as artists, we're always looking for, we're always a little insecure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a big one to hang your hat on. But no, man. Like if you can really write them, then. God bless.
Yes.
And then you're gonna find that beehive. Of people that are like, oh yeah. You need to be in every right that we're in.
To understand the value you bring. But yes, you are enough. You are a songwriter.
Yep.
Even if you don't write melodies or sing. All right. So number 2, pick your co-writers carefully, because lyrics are only half the song. All right. You are a songwriter, but you're only writing up to half the song. For the other half, you do need a co-writer, and you want to pick them carefully. And so I know this from experience, because it's a terrible feeling to take an idea or a lyric that I love into a co-write and somebody slaps on a subpar melody.
Yeah.
So you do want to be mindful and careful about your about who you choose to work with, because you're going to have to work with somebody. You're not going to sit in your room by yourself and hammer out a hit song.
That's right.
But you're not going to sit in a room with a mediocre writer and hammer out a hit song either. Now, with that said, you can't have analysis paralysis and sit in the room and never get your stuff out until you can write with, I don't know, Shane McAnally or somebody like that, or Thomas Rhett.
Right.
You do need to get your stuff out there. At the beginning, it may not be with the top-notch songwriters. It may just be with the best melody writers you can find.
That's right.
But that will showcase your stuff, and that will allow you to start generating some traction and start climbing up that ladder.
I got a couple things to add.
Yes.
Number one is the only way you're going to really kind of find out who the good melody writers are and who the mediocre melody writers aren't, and the only way you're going to find out what that bar is, like you have enough data in your head where you can recognize a really good melody writer versus a mediocre melody writer, is by doing the work.
Doing the work, yeah.
So go out there, to your point, go out and write with them. Number two is the man. I think a lot of people sometimes are like they're worried that they got one good idea and they don't want to share it, so they don't want that. Adds to the analysis paralysis, right? Because I want to wait till the perfect right. Man, you're going to keep coming up with good ideas.
Or you're never going to be a pro anyway.
Yeah. So just throw them out there, the best stuff you got, and just keep going, because it's a springboard onto the next thing. And believe it or not, the more you work, the more you're going to flex that muscle, the stronger you're going to get, and the higher up the ladder you're going to climb.
Right.
So don't use that as an excuse not to to wait for the right or the right person or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then
especially at the beginning, you got to get out there, mix it up.
And then finally, like on that, so you're talking about like, making sure that you're with the best melody writers that you can find.
You can get to. But
also, like, we're very conscious when I'm hooking up a writer, with one of my artists, with songwriters, with a team, I want to know who's strong in lyrics and who's strong in melody. And I'm trying to put complementary people together as opposed to like two lyricists. And an artist who doesn't play guitar, like we get nothing done.
It's a really weird room.
Yeah. So you got to make sure that you sort of recognize who compliments you.
Yeah, right? And if you're honest about that, they go back to point number one: you are enough. Yeah. You can let people know that and not try to hide it, and so they know what you do and they can add you into the right mix.
That's right.
All right. So number 3. Bring in ideas that let your co-writer shine. All right, so each of your co-writers are going to have different strengths. This is assuming you get to the point you have, your hopper, you have your rotation. So one co-writer may write killer traditional country songs. Another co-writer might write great female pop country. So, okay, where do you think I'm going to take my crying my beer ideas? I'm going to go to the guy that writes really great crying my beer traditional country songs, right?
Right.
I don't go to a steakhouse hoping for a great salad. And I don't go to a vegan restaurant hoping for steak.
Right.
So I believe it's important to let your co-writers do what they're great at. Set them up to succeed. Let them work in their strengths. Now, yes, you do want to stretch your co-writers, and you can do that too. But man, there's just something beautiful about, this is in your wheelhouse. Go kill it.
Yeah.
Quarterback. How often do they go out and try to catch a pass or block somebody?
Yeah.
They don't. Every once in a while, they may be called upon in dire situation, but very infrequently, because they know eventually they're going to lose a quarterback.
Yeah,
that's not their area of strength. You want them dropping back, reading coverage, throwing the ball, or handing the ball off. They very good at what they do, not good at what they don't do.
That's right.
And so you want to get the proper players in the proper spots on the field. You want to bring them the right ideas. If you have a great running quarterback, you're going to draw up some runs.
Yep.
For him. If your quarterback is 6'9", but he's like 400 pounds, and he's the hefty lefty, and he can barely move, and you don't want to do a lot of we're going to roll out, and you're just going to take it and run. You're not going to do that. You want to set him up to succeed.
That's right. Which means you're going to spend money on that offensive line to protect him, because
exactly.
He can't move that fast.
He can't move that fast.
But he's accurate.
You spend the money on the left
get
tackle.
out. Yeah.
Right. So, when you start figuring out what your co-writers, and you may have to write with them a couple times to find out what their strengths are. That's cool. But once you realize that, it's good to really try to play toward their strengths, just like they're not handing you a guitar and going, just come on.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can do it. Come on. Be a real songwriter. No, just you don't want them handing you a guitar. Don't hand them something that they're not qualified for, that's not going to be within their area of strength.
And I will add this. I will add that that everybody thinks they can write everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm interested in like stirring up a different soup, you know? So I'll do that sometimes. Like if the writers are down and they don't think I'm going to waste their time, like I'm like, hey, I got to rock like a couple country writers, right? There's this like country team that was like sick, like really good. And like a couple big hit writers in there, really notable songs. And I had them write with Jacob Cade.
Oh, cool.
You know? And they came up with some cool songs. Got to Michael Wagner. He's like, these are country. I'm not recording these. And I was like, yeah, they really are. Like, you know, as much as they tried, they're country. That's who they are. That's what they do. And they're awesome at it.
Yeah.
You know? Why? Don't make them be something else.
But guys like Michael Wagner are going to smell that. They're going to sniff it out.
Heartbeat,
hardcore, straight, 180 proof rock.
It was embarrassing because he looked at me like, really? And I was like, I'm showing you everything.
But they're quality.
Man. Yeah, it's a good song. I know it's not. But
that's, I mean, that's why I haven't tried to, leverage you for a co-write with Jacob.
Yeah.
It's not what I do. Yeah. He's great and he's rocking. He's going to kill it. And I'll be like, yeah, I was like 1 degree of separation from him. But what I do is not what he does. So how much value can I really bring to that? And what does success look like? So if I'm not bringing in something that he's going to kill, I don't really need to be in that room. So it's a little bit of knowing my lane as well, because I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want to annoy him and waste his time, or make Michael Wagner get that look on his face on one of my songs.
That's right.
All right, so let's go on to number 4, and this is a big one. All right, number 4: give respect to the melody. Now, I didn't used to care too much exactly how a line sang, as long as they got my words in there, because I was like, that was proof of both my arrogance and my inexperience, and my song suffered as a result. I mean, I remember sitting, right with my buddy Tim, like, no, Tim, that's the line. You find a way to make it sing, singer boy, which is just wrong, and it's arrogant, and it's immature, and it's not understanding that the importance of a melody, because I listen to lyric first.
Right.
And so, but it's a fallacy. Most people don't listen to lyric first. It has to, if you want the song to get sung, it has to sing.
Yeah.
Right? If it doesn't sing, it won't get sung. And so I made that mistake a few times of really pressuring my co-writer to try and log jam this cool line into this melody where it really didn't fit. You have to give a lot of respect to that melody and realize that most people, and singers especially, they want a melody that they want to sing.
Yeah.
A lot of people like George Strait, I've heard he listens melody and beat, groove, whatever, feel music first.
Yeah.
And then if he likes that, then he'll listen more deeply and go, what's it about?
Step 2 is listening to the lyric, and let's see if it fits with what I got going. But it doesn't matter how good the lyric is, like if I'm not feeling that.
If he's not feeling it, he's never going to find out how good the lyric is.
That's right.
And a lot of people are that way. It has to sing. So, I mean, you can, as evidenced by a lot of pop and rock songs that have dumb lyrics, but they feel great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Studio.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make up words. And it's awesome. And I've paid for that song a couple times. So give respect to the melodies. Songs are both lyric and melody. And if a line isn't singing just right, just keep at it till you find the line that both says what you want it to say and sings well. So you have to be patient. You have to be confident in your ability. And remember, it's not all about you, and it's really not even all about the lyric. It's about the song, and song is lyric and melody. Give proper respect to the melody. For one thing, your co-writer will appreciate that. Yep. You're not trying to, run over them, and so it'll be a more enjoyable experience for the melody writer. And they're more likely to play it out if they like how it sings, because they're the singer, and you're not going to be going out playing it out. So if you want your song to get played out, write something your co-writer wants to play.
Yeah.
I mean, melodically.
It's called collaboration.
Again, let them do what they're good at. Trust them.
Called collaboration.
It is.
And then, just realize, there's a certain element of just realizing that that's the soup that you're making today.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think the censor gets in the way, right? Mm-hmm. And so we start to judge, and we start to worry, and we start to, oh man, is this good or not good? You know what? Don't worry about it. Like I put a really great writer with Allura who's writing for her EP. Mm-hmm. She's an artist, Daredevil artist. She's recording on July 9th with Michael Wagner. He's going to produce the record.
Cool.
And this writer who actually did Mark Bray's new single, she wrote that. Mm-hmm. Eric Lee Sunshine. And they got together and they wrote a killer tune. Great song. Like the best melody I've ever heard Allura do. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Country song.
Yeah.
Except for a swear word. They got to change one thing. But you know what I mean? But it's good. So maybe it's not going to be for her project. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. They just plowed through, and they came up with this great song that sure shooting, we can shop that.
Yeah.
I think. I think they got to change like one cuss word in there that's nobody's ever going to sing on country radio. But it's great. It's a really good song.
Is that
but
cuss
it's
word
just
a rhyme
for somebody else? What
is that cuss word a rhyme?
I don't know.
Okay, if it's not, easy fix. So, yeah, I think if that's what it is that day, write that and realize. But, we're talking lyricists here, so they're not writing for their own project anyway, because I ain't got no project.
That's right.
I'm trying to get on somebody else's. But, so that's number 4, give respect to the melody. Number 5, show up with 2 or 3 song ideas. All right, so if you're a young writer writing with a seasoned pro, they expect it from you. After all, they can probably write a great song without you. So what do they want from you as a lyricist? They want your ideas. That's why you're in the room. They're craftsmen. They've done the stuff. They know the deal. What do they need from you? They want your fresh ideas. And if you're like a younger lyricist, and this came up recently in conversation with somebody about writing with younger writers, like, yeah, I have more craft than they do. I know what I'm doing. But you know what I don't know is like a 50-something-year-old pro writer. I don't know as much how 20-year-olds are talking. The language they use, the worldview. And that's something you can bring as a lyricist. If you're a younger lyricist, you can bring that because you know how your peer group, your age group is talking. You may not even be aware of it, but you speak a little differently than a 50-year-old does.
Because it's just culture.
It's just culture for you, right? But that's a value that you can bring. And also your ideas. I mean, so many writers say, I've written a bazillion songs. What do I need? Just you bring me a hit idea and then follow me to the money. Yeah. And so you do want to show up with some strong ideas, and like I said, at least 2 or 3. Because if you're writing up, or even if you're not, you may throw out the one that you've been waiting on, and they just go, "Man, I wrote something real similar to that last week or last year, and so I don't want to step on that again."
Yep.
Just because it may be weird between me and that other co-writer or whatever, or it's going to be in my head, and it's going to be I'm going to be spending all day trying not to write that same song instead of trying to write this one. So, you want to have some backup, and also that shows your seriousness that you don't just have one idea.
Yep.
You've done your homework, or just may not be. They just may not get it.
Or they're just not feeling it that day.
They're not feeling it that day, that particular idea. So you have another one. If that doesn't work, you have another one. And so that shows the seriousness, the level of professionalism. So as a lyricist, man, that I feel responsible for bringing the idea, because why else am I there?
Yeah,
right?
You better have that.
I better have some words
lyrical.
and some ideas, right? So yes, as a lyricist, know that you need to come up with some ideas. I mean, lyricists should not be the one to show up in the room and go, I don't know, man. I got nothing today. What are you feeling today? I mean, that is an appropriate question at times, because I also feel I'm in the service business. So I do want to serve. If I'm writing with an artist, or also my co-writer, hey, are you feeling something? Which will lead into the next point. But yeah, sometimes that's an appropriate question. But I always want to have some.
I have one thing. At the very beginning of that point, you said they probably can write a song without you. They do write a song without you. They have. That's why they're there.
That's why they're there.
They can absolutely write without you, and they don't need you. Give them a reason to need you.
Exactly.
With a new idea.
Yeah, because even if they only write melodies, they have other writers, other co-writers, or if they're a solo writer, can write a complete song by themselves. Yeah, they can write a song, and if they're a pro, they have written great songs without you. That's right. What do they need you for? They need you for the next
ideas.
One. Good ideas. Yeah, exactly. But also that leads into my next point. Number 6, you don't always have to write your idea. All right, so you're responsible for showing up with some strong ideas that are worthy of being written. Do your homework. But that doesn't mean you have to shoehorn your idea into the one that you write that day. Again, we're in the service business. If the best service that day is to help that co-writer write their idea, because that's just a better idea, or it's something that's really on their heart, and that's a way that you can connect with them and play the long game, work on that song that really means something to them, even if it's not 100% commercial, but you're really relationship building by doing that, then that's something to consider. Again, you don't, just like giving respect to the melody, be flexible on your line to make sure the line sings great. You also want to be flexible with your ideas. Just because you're responsible, bring up your couple ideas that you have that are really strong, and if that's just not the one to write that day, that's cool. You need to let that go. You'll write those another day. I mean, I consider it bonus, because I'm like, great, I brought in some strong ideas, but we end up writing my co-writer's idea. I still got all my strong ideas to bring in next week to someone else.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, like I'm not down a single song idea. I just found a bonus idea that I like. it has to be one that we all like. But we're there to serve the song that's waiting for us in the room that day. I want to bring some, but if that's not the song we're supposed to write that day, I'm not in charge.
Right.
It's a collaboration. Like you've mentioned a couple times, John, it's collaboration. And so sometimes we can feel like our ego or our insecurity, most likely our insecurity, we feel like we better write our idea because I have to justify being in the room, and I better write most of the lyric. Some days I'm not even driving point on lyric. I mean, just the co-writer may be feeling it that day. It's like, you're playing basketball. All of a sudden, he comes off the bench, but yeah. he's in half-court shots. You just feed him, feed him. I don't care. The game is to win.
That's right.
I'm not worried about my personal stats because all that matters is the W or the L at the end of the game.
And I would add this, a couple of things. So number one is, just make sure the vibe is good, man.
Yeah.
And don't be the log jam.
Because it has to be yours. Because I'm insecure because I'm a lyricist, and I'm only a lyricist. And so if we don't write my idea and I don't get a lot of lines in there, they may not like me. No, they're probably not going to like you because you're ramrodding everything.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah, it's the vibe.
It's going to go sideways on the vibe. And the second thing is, it's kind of like, just when you get in that situation, think about song title challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And just start riffing off some random idea that just gets popped to you right then and there, and exercise that muscle so that you can try to add as much value to that as you can. And like you said, if maybe it's just something that got going on right now, and this isn't going to get cut, but we just need to get it out. We need to birth this baby.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're there to help, they're always going to remember you for that.
Yeah,
right?
For being in the delivery room when that baby was born.
The midwife.
The midwife, exactly. And I'm the midwife. I'm the midwife. But a lot of times it is that insecurity that we feel like, and it's scary too. It may be insecurity feeling like we better write an idea that I bring in because I have to justify being in the room, or it may be insecurity going, I did a lot of homework on these ideas, but now this other idea just came up, and I don't know yet if I'm going to be able to write it well. Why? Because you've never written that idea before. We're always kind of improving.
Yep.
And so for me, I'm more comfortable doing that because I'm more comfortable going, I don't know where this is going to go. But yeah, kind of like Song Title Challenge. They throw it out, they really want to write it. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but we'll figure it out along the way. It's being confident enough in your own ability to go, even though I don't know where this train is headed, let's go. Let's start laying down track, and we'll be all right. It doesn't have to be everything that I've done my homework on. You have to be able to improv too as a lyricist.
That's right.
And that comes with time and practice and confidence. So you don't always have to write your own idea.
And just, let it happen.
You're responsible for bringing in some good ones. That doesn't mean you have to write them.
That's right.
All right, ready for the last point?
Yes, sir.
All right. The melody writers, they're just as scared of you as you are of them. So
that's what my mama told me about snakes.
About snakes, exactly. Listen, people who can create great melodies out of thin air may be a mystery to you, okay? And they are to me. I don't get it. That is not how my brain works. It's not a skill set I have. And so they may kind of intimidate you because you don't have that skill. I'm like, how do people just open their mouth and they sing and these melodies happen? I don't understand it. But you know what? I've learned it runs both ways. That I have right with some people that get a little freaked out that you don't hear melody? No. But you got all these words. Man, where do these words come from? I don't know. Where do your melodies come from? I don't know. So that kind of can freak them out a little bit too. So, but the beautiful thing is you each have something that the other person needs.
Yeah.
And so just remember that. It's kind of like they're probably a little weirded out too because they may be a little nervous that, God, I got to come up with this whole melody myself.
Yep.
That may kind of throw them. So just remember that they probably got their own bundle of insecurities and their own nerves and their own stuff that we all got issues, right?
They do.
I ain't got issues. I got subscriptions.
And prescriptions.
Exactly. So, they got their own stuff going on. And just remember that they're just as scared of you as you are of them. And y'all got your own stuff, but it's beautiful when it works together. And just, try to enjoy being in the room that day with somebody.
It makes a better song, man. Like, I work with this artist out in L.A. I produced like 3 EPs on him. Killer voice. Mm-hmm. So from the time he's born, everybody's bowing down to this kid's feet, like, because he could sing. And you know what? This is, by the way, I find this predictable with people who like really, really sing really well. Their lyrics suffer because they get the reaction, they get the love that they want because of the way they sing, and so the lyrics are kind of mediocre.
Because they don't have to be great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this particular artist,
you're Bob Dylan, if you sing like Dylan,
Yeah.
You better have some words.
That's right. You better come up with something more to bring to the party.
Right, yeah.
But he all self-contained like his whole life.
Yeah.
Always wrote his own songs, never did a co-write. And we flew out here to mix a project once from LA, and I set him up. I set him up with Anthony and Matt, Anthony and Matt Klein. And he was weirded out about it, as you would expect. You know?
Those are a couple weird boys.
Yeah, well, we don't know what happened in that room, but we can assume like he's traumatized from it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember he went back and he wasn't even sure how he felt about it after he left, but he ended up moving out here. Mm-hmm. And I lived with him for a couple years, like we ran a house together. And straight up, like all of a sudden he went from that to skipping home, like, you're not going to believe what we just wrote today, because it just goes to another level when you got somebody focused on lyrics and somebody, and for him just coming up with these melodies that are awesome. Mm-hmm. And it's cooler, man. It's like that's what you need. It's so much more competitive, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, listen, climbers out there that are lyricists, I hope this has helped you out. I hope this. Go back and listen to this again. Mark it. Every 6 months, maybe you need to go back and hear this if you just need a little kick in the britches or a little, keep your chin up. But this is stuff that's helped me along my journey. I hope it helps you on yours, too.
There you go. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode.
After we give this one thing away.
Oh, we got something to give away?
That's right.
We'll do it.
Well, exactly. Well, if you've listened, you know what's coming. But I have a free ebook for you. It's called Think Like a Pro Songwriter. You can get it at giftfrombrent.com. It has a bunch of stuff in there about like how to connect with a publisher, how to get on their radar, how to know who's looking for songs, how the pros know who's looking for songs to record, a bunch of stuff like that, mindset stuff, and then actionable stuff. So it's Think Like a Pro Songwriter. You can download it for free at giftfrombrent.com because it's my gift for you. So it is free. So just download it there, and also it'll get you on the Songwriting Pro Insiders list, and you'll get just a bunch of free, cool information, helpful stuff, help you on your journey.
Help you get to where you need to go.
Yep.
All right. So, hey, if you haven't joined the C.L.I.M.B community, again, do so. Just search for C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. You have to ask to be let in, but we let everybody in. Be good boys and girls, or you will be roadhoused. Share this information. If it's working for you, probably going to work for somebody else. They're going to want the kind of inspiration too, something to follow after. So put it up on your socials, let everybody know about it. Subscribe. It'll automatically come in every Tuesday for that full episode and every Friday for the mini-sode. And then finally, leave a rating and review. Take 30 seconds and do that. It means the world to us, and it will help other people just sticking their toe in the water get used to making that. So this podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.